As expected, darkness is coming. The spotlight.
Caitlin Clark's impact on the WNBA has been nothing short of revolutionary. Her phenomenal rookie season shattered viewership records, packed arenas, and propelled the WNBA into mainstream attention like never before. However, the league's fortunes quickly took a downturn once Clark was eliminated from the playoffs. A season that began with excitement and high expectations soon transformed into one marked by empty seats and plummeting ratings. Clark had been the driving force behind the WNBA's momentum, and her absence exposed just how heavily the league depended on her star power. With Clark out of the playoffs, the WNBA didn't just lose a standout player. It lost the key figure that kept the league in the spotlight.
Overtime into Shields. That's the first team foul.
And then the moment the ratings tank, they're going to come back and say, see, we were right all along. It's all the racists that follow Caitlin Clark that were watching the product, and now they're gone, and we're back with our diehards. And that's the ratings that you're seeing, actual W fans. Not WNBA, actual W fans.
However, the reality has been far from what the WNBA had expected. They believed they could thrive without Caitlin Clark's dominant presence, but that assumption quickly unraveled. Almost immediately after her departure, viewership numbers dropped. This season's playoff games, which were supposed to be the highlight of the year, turned into a dull affair, with fans switching off and arenas barely half full. The league had been riding high on the Caitlin Clark effect, but now they are facing the stark truth. Much of their success was directly tied to her electrifying performances. Conversations about the WNBA playoffs seem to have faded entirely, and the league is struggling to reignite the excitement that Clark once brought. It's almost as if the championship games are happening in a vacuum, unnoticed by the very audience they were meant to captivate.
What would have taken 5 years. And as it pertains to draft viewership, she did in 5.
WNBA viewership has dropped by over 50% since Clark's departure, leading to a noticeable decline in excitement around the finals. Once a highly anticipated event, the finals have now become a forgettable series marked by empty seats and dwindling fan interest.
For fans or Caitlin Clark fans that you speak of are no longer going to watch the WNBA now that the Indiana Fever.
Losing a star player is tough, but losing the player who reignited the league's fan base is devastating. Clark had a magnetic draw. People tuned in because of her. Now, with her absence, the WNBA is struggling to rebuild and recapture that lost momentum.
Want me to just say I told you so, or are you willing to say, Stephen A., you did tell us?
The WNBA bears full responsibility for the situation it now faces. From the outset, they allowed Caitlin Clark to be targeted on the court, with aggressive fouling and unnecessary physical play. Rather than taking steps to protect their most prominent star, they chose to turn a blind eye, and now they're facing the consequences. Fans didn't just tune in to watch Caitlin Clark's exceptional performance. They were also appalled by the harsh treatment she endured game after game. Had the league stepped in to protect her, the outcome might have been different. But with Clark's departure, the WNBA is left with an uninspiring product and a shrinking fan base.
I've coached the best, but they were tremendously disrespectful. But human nature is, okay, this kid's coming in.
Caitlin Clark's impact on the WNBA was transformative in ways no one could have predicted. Her star power transcended the game, drawing fans from all corners of the country. Yet, the league's failure to fully leverage her immense popularity has now become a major factor in its decline.
I'm going to go back to watching football now. I'll be back when Caitlin plays again, or I'll be back when the Indiana Fever play, because now I'm an Indiana Fever.
Since her departure, both viewership and attendance have sharply dropped, and the once thrilling excitement surrounding the playoffs has vanished. Without Clark, the WNBA is struggling to sustain its previous success. It has become clear that she was the cornerstone of the league, and now, without her, the entire structure is crumbling. The WNBA had banked on the strength of its infrastructure to carry it through the playoffs, but Clark's absence has left a void too big to fill.
Make that abundantly clear, but it was growing incrementally compared to the exponential growth you're seeing.
The absence of Caitlin Clark has had a profound impact on all aspects of the WNBA. The finals, once anticipated as the most thrilling part of the season, have struggled to capture any meaningful attention. With fans tuning out, the arenas are noticeably emptier without Clark's magnetic presence on the court. Her absence has stripped the league of its ability to draw widespread interest, and the current fan response to the remaining games makes it painfully clear that the excitement she brought is sorely missed. Now, the WNBA is grappling with how to fill the void left in her wake, but the damage may already be done. it could be too late to regain the audience they've lost.
One of the Aces Liberty matchup on Sunday drew an average of 929,000 viewers. Was down nearly 50% from last Sunday's Fever Sun contest.
Caitlin Clark's rise to stardom significantly changed how people viewed the WNBA. Her incredible performances made her a must-watch player, boosting the league's popularity and drawing in viewers. It became clear how much the WNBA relied on her presence to capture the public's attention. However, in Clark's absence, the league has struggled to maintain the momentum, returning to its niche status. The excitement that once surrounded it has faded, as reflected in declining viewership in empty arenas. Simply put, without a star like Caitlin Clark, the WNBA is finding it increasingly challenging to stay relevant. She remains a star, as the WNBA works hard to bounce back from the loss of Caitlin Clark. Despite stepping away, Clark appears to be thriving, and her legacy in the league is already firmly established. Her future still holds great promise, though the WNBA may come to deeply regret how they handled her departure. For Clark, there's no looking back. Even as she takes a break from the spotlight, her name continues to dominate conversations, solidifying her status as one of the league's most valuable players. Meanwhile, the WNBA is left grappling with the fallout. Their missed opportunity to protect and elevate Clark has resulted in a significant setback. Now, the league must find a way to recover from empty seats and plummeting ratings, consequences of their missteps.
Basketball player, I think I can say that she's great, and I can say that there are 143 women that helped get the league to this place, that she could take it over.
The statistics tell the story. Caitlin Clark's games brought unparalleled excitement to the Women's National Basketball Association, WNBA, drawing in a massive fan base. However, since her departure, the league has slipped back into its former state, with viewership and fan engagement significantly declining. The energy Clark generated is clearly missing, and the WNBA is now grappling with the harsh reality that it relied heavily on her star power. Without Clark, the league faces an uphill battle to recapture the momentum and excitement she once brought. Her absence has highlighted a deeper issue: the WNBA's dependency on a single player to drive its success. The league now finds itself in a precarious position, struggling to maintain relevance without its brightest star. Empty seats, poor ratings, and a lack of enthusiasm have become stark reminders that the WNBA may have taken Clark's presence for granted. As the league moves forward, it must confront an undeniable truth. Caitlin Clark was the engine behind their recent success. Now, with her gone, the league must figure out how to rebuild and revitalize fan interest. A task that will not be easy without the star power that once filled arenas.
Caitlin Clark and the Indiana Fever had over 1.8 million viewers, and the rest of the games had around 400,000 viewers. If you added them up together, they still wouldn't add up to 1.84 million.
This situation has exposed a critical flaw in the WNBA's strategy. By replacing too much emphasis on one star, they failed to elevate other players to a similar level of prominence. The league's shortcomings have been laid bare, and they are now paying the price for not building a more robust, marketable brand around a larger pool of talent. The challenge now is clear. How will the WNBA fill the void left by Clark? It's not just about filling arenas. It's about making fans care again. To do so, the league needs to cultivate a diverse roster of players capable of delivering the same excitement and engagement that Clark did. Many are asking why the WNBA didn't invest more in promoting other stars alongside Clark. Where was the effort to elevate veteran players or rising stars? The league's focus was too narrow, and now it finds itself scrambling to avoid being overly reliant on one player for its success. Caitlin Clark is a generational talent, and while the league is looking to the future, the question remains: how will they replace her? Should they continue hoping for the next big star, or should they fundamentally rethink their approach to player promotion and fan engagement?
The league before Caitlin Clark, there were no opposing fans. You barely had home fans. And so no one cared. A couple 300,000 people were watching your games before Caitlin.
The WNBA can no longer afford to repeat its past mistakes. Moving forward, the league needs to prioritize sustainable growth. This means investing in the development of younger players, amplifying the voices of established stars, and creating an inclusive environment that promotes talent across teams and backgrounds. Clark's departure has made one thing clear: the WNBA can no longer depend on a single player. How they distribute attention across multiple players, build lasting fan relationships, and craft compelling narratives that resonate beyond the court will determine the league's future. This is a pivotal moment for the WNBA. They can either continue down the path they've been on or seize this opportunity to evolve. They can dwell on the loss of Caitlin Clark, focusing on empty seats and declining ratings. Or they can rebuild stronger, with a focus on cultivating new stars and expanding their reach. With the WNBA's future on the line, the time to act is now. The league's ability to recover from this setback and move forward will shape its trajectory for years to come. What do you think about the WNBA's current situation? Let me know in the comments, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more content. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.